What if the thing that you're searching for isn't a new business, a title, or a finish line, but a feeling, a sense of peace, purpose, and presence? In today's episode of Her Purpose, I am talking with Dani. She is the absolute heart and soul behind The Bohemian, a home decor retail store, and Feathers, her home staging business. In this conversation, Dani shares how she's turned deep grief, raw creativity, and relentless love into a space that heals, inspires, and empowers. From staging homes to staging hope, Dani's journey reminds us that sometimes the most meaningful success doesn't come from scaling up, but from scaling back and choosing what matters most. Hey, before we jump in, what if you could get real-time support uncovering your purpose or figuring out your next bold move straight from me? I'm opening up a few spots for something brand new, and I'm really excited about this. If you're curious, send me a DM with the word purpose, and I'll share the details. Let's jump in. You're running The Bohemian and Feathers. The Bohemian, if you're not a Bohemian fan, you need to go check them out. It's the coolest store, but it's a different structure of store that as far as like a home interior store. So talk just a little bit about what your business at The Bohemian is and also Feathers.
So The Bohemian it's like a local Etsy is the best way to describe it. So we started The Bohemian and had a few other creatives with us. We house now over 70 different local artists who either remake, create, refinish furniture. It is literally a mix across the board of all of the things that we offer within our walls. And it's furniture, home decor, gift, jewelry, anything you can think of. It is a place that we tried to create where anybody can walk through the doors and find something they love.
It's so cohesive, though. You would not know walking in that there's 70 vendors. It's not like a flea market. It's like a upper high scale designer store with amazing pieces. I love it. But it's awesome that you've created this space for all kinds of people in the local area to have a business. And then Feathers, yeah, and also and plants. There's so much in there.
There are.
Your business, Feathers. Just share a little bit about what you do with that business.
So Feathers was kind of born off of The Bohemian of being an outlet of, okay, we have some excess furniture. Let's put it in a home to showcase what a piece can look like in somebody's home because it's so different when you see it in the store. Sometimes people have a hard time visualizing it in their home. And so we were like, let's stage a couple of houses. Well, that just went over really well. And so we just slowly started. It was kind of on the back burner because we were still trying to get The Bohemian going and able to run on its own. And once we did that, then we started Feathers, and it has just taken off in the real estate market. So we stage homes, we do design, all the things.
Would you say your time is spent 50-50 between the two businesses or primarily with Feathers?
It depends. So now, rather than being in the store, I am typically behind the scenes at The Bohemian. I go in before anybody gets there and do all of the paperwork, everything that needs to be done there, get it set for the week. And then I'm on Feathers most of the time during the week. So I'm going out to the stages, going and meeting the agents, walking the homes, all of that.
So your path did not lead you here directly. So going back to in high school or growing up, what did you think you wanted to be?
To be honest, I'm not 100% sure. Like, I bopped around so much. I knew that I wanted to own my own business, but I didn't know what that meant or like where that would take me. My father owns his own business. So growing up, I got to watch him be an entrepreneur, and I liked the flexibility of him being able to go to everything for us. So I knew I wanted that, and I knew that it needed to be in business, but not sure what it was. I didn't know what my passion was. I had no idea. And it wasn't until The Bohemian that I knew what it was.
So interesting how an idea comes about and you start with one little step. Like you had no idea what it was actually going to become when you started. But going back, you were working in government. Talk just a little bit about what life was like before it is now.
It was so much different. So I worked for a company that did government contracting. So we did a lot of the bidding for the government on supplies that they need for the military for any branch. It was a great position and great job, but so unfulfilling for me. I knew I was there for quite a while, and I just knew that it wasn't right for me. And I ended up making a switch to another company that was a little bit more creative, where I was a project manager and they flipped homes. And I think that's honestly when my spark happened of like, I really love this. And it opened the floodgates, looking back now, of I was the kid who rearranged their room all the time. Like, I'm 8 years old and I'm moving my dresser across my room because I need something fresh and new. I'm changing out the decor. And I even dabbled in it in college. I took some interior design classes and I just didn't really then know what it was that I liked. And then in that position, you get to be creative because you're picking out all of these items for these homes and the fixtures and finishes. And I just really loved it. But it took away so much from me time-wise to be with my family, and it just didn't feel right. But I knew that that creative spark was something that I wanted.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about the life that you wanted to create with your family and what was that transition like to look at, okay, I want to create a different work system. Like I want to show up in the world and work, but I want to also have control of my time. What did you think in the very beginning was possible for you when you started to make that transition?
So what really spiked it is my husband and I had a really hard time getting pregnant. And I knew that if it ever happened, like I didn't want to miss a thing. Like we wanted children so bad. And so we found out that we were pregnant with our daughter, Coley. And that was when I was like, you know what? I really got to start focusing on me and what's going to be best for our family. And that was when we had the conversation of like, there's got to be something better and different. Like, this isn't good. I'm spending so many hours. I mean, it wasn't a normal job. I worked my tail off and it was exhausting. And again, just so unfulfilling for what I wanted for my life and what I thought my purpose was. And so my husband and I went back and forth and we decided that we would make it work. Just take that leap of faith. And I quit. And I've always been a crafter. It's really funny looking back now at the things that I created. And it started the Bohemian. I was making signs. That was my gig. I made signs and I got myself a small space in actually Pine Street Market. That's where I started. I literally started from the ground up. We decided to rent a space and it was terrifying because we were so financially strapped. I think the rent was like $150 a month. And we were like, what are we going to do? Like, what happens if we can't make that rent and then we have like all of our other finances? So it's crazy to look back now what we did because our life is so different now.
Yeah. And going from where it started to where it is now, that didn't unfold overnight either. So I know at one point you launched a pop-up store. So you branched out from Pine Street Market. Was it within Pine Street Market that you had replaced the income, or were you still didn't replace your income but had more time freedom?
Yeah. So it was rough. It was really rough for the first bit. We were in the market for, I'm not even sure how long. It was probably like 5 months. Meanwhile, I have to mention this, like I'm doing all of this with a baby on my hip. This is why I wanted to do this. I wanted to have my daughter with me. I didn't want to miss those first moments, her first walk, all of that. So I'm trying to build this business with a baby on my hip. no idea what I'm doing. I've never owned my own business. I am like stumbling, and I mean stumbling hard. But I think what has made us successful is that honesty of it. And we got such a following there. These doors started to open and we started to notice it. And when you are open to taking that leap and knowing that God has you and it's going to be okay no matter what, you do it. And so across the street, one section of this strip mall that we're in currently opened up. And we were like, how are we going to do this? It's a completely different scale. Now it's real. And so we did it. We got a couple of people to go in the store with us and help pay the rent. And
that changed the rent from $150 to what?
Oh, a lot. It spiked from $150 to, I think our first one was like something like $1,200 a month, which is huge. I mean, the $150 itself was crazy for us. And then it jumps up to this other amount. And so we were like, let's find other creatives who want to be a part of it and share the same vision and have the same morals and ethics of what we want to do. And so we got a handful of people at that time. I think there was 6 of us in there. And that's how we started.
The rest of that building, was that, did you see a future that was more in alignment with the stores that were in that building than what was in Pine Street Market?
Yes. So I like to have a more elevated feel, and I wanted to have control of that. I wanted to have a space that when you walked in felt like home and inspired people. And I feel like you can have restrictions with that when you're in a market where there can be anything that's being sold. I had in my mind what I wanted, and we had to break free, if that makes sense, in order to do that.
And take that risk, but also be the visionary that says, this is what I know we can create, but bring in partners to bridge the gap in making it financially feasible. I want to ask a little bit about when you talk about building your following, were you doing a lot with social media at that time, or were you just building a following within the store and building connections and relationship? Because Pine Street Market, you don't typically have the vendors in the spaces.
No, you don't. And I needed this to succeed. And so I was there constantly. I was vacuuming my space. Anything I could do to be there and present and meet people. We also did a ton of markets outside. And, some of the bigger ones that they have in the city, we would do those. And anything that we weren't in physically, we would attend and meet people.
Which is different.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot different. And so that helped in a big way with connections and our customer base. And we just...
What drove you to see that as a way to build your brand more quickly? And why did you do that when no one else, from what my experience in Pine Street Market, I don't know that I've seen any of the other actual vendors within their areas.
Yeah. And it's not common. I mean, it really isn't. But those who do spend time, and I teach this in our store now. I think it's super important. People want a connection with what they're buying. They want to know the story. They want to know how it's made. We're human. I think a lot of people look at retail as this kind of robotic space of all of this stuff's created overseas. You lose the value in it. But in the Bohemian, you're purchasing from a mom who's trying to get her kid through gymnastics. You're purchasing from myself and my husband who put blood, sweat, and tears into every piece that they refinish and who are just trying to be an example for their kids. Everybody within our walls has a story. And I think that's what's so beautiful and why we've been successful is we're human. And these products that we create is like our passion and love that we're sharing with the world. And it's super vulnerable and it's super scary, but we're doing it.
How has it felt to be able to create that space for the mom who is just trying to get her kids into gymnastics?
It's incredible. Our store is 90% women, most of them being moms. And I think what's really beautiful about it is because that was me. Like, I struggled so hard to get there. And now I share a platform with all of these women to give them an opportunity that like I wanted to. And so we all have that in us of sharing that we just want to do what we love and what we find ourselves passionate about and share it with the world, and having a place where it can be appreciated and having the clients that come in and can appreciate it and see that and know that they're supporting that.
I love so much that it's a blend of being creative and actually having an income, because there's a lot of ways in the world you can be creative but not have an income tied to that. So creating a space where creative women can have an income, that's amazing. I just can imagine that feels very fulfilling.
It does. It really does. And not only to have them, but also our customers. Like, they have been incredible. The community that we've built in there is, I don't know, I just feel beyond blessed for all of the people that we've met and the stories and how we've been able to help families. I just really think it's incredible.
Something that you said earlier is that you feel like everyone needs to feel seen and important. I think you maybe shared that with me separately, but why is that important to you?
My whole life have felt kind of like an outcast. I was the shy one who was always standoffish. And when I started the Bohemian, it forced me out of my comfort zone so much. And I think a lot of people think that I'm always this like bubbly out there person, but that's really hard for me. Like, it's not typically who I am. You put me in a room with a bunch of people and I'm going to be the one that's up against the wall because I feel so uncomfortable and I don't know what to say. And I'm still that little 8-year-old girl. And so I wanted to have a space where everybody feels seen and loved. And one of the things that we always hit on is when you walk through our doors, I want you to leave happier than when you came in. I think that our family has gone through a lot of trauma, and out of that, it's given me a different perspective on life and my purpose of what I want to present to the world and what I think my calling is from God. I truly feel like I'm here to make a difference in everybody's life by making people happy and just trying to really understand and cope with people for things that they're going through. We have people who come through our doors just to come in and talk. And I know that sounds crazy because we're a retail location, but it happens all the time. We're their comfort zone. We're their place. We're their home away from home. And that's what I wanted to build, because you matter. That's the most important thing. You matter in this world and you matter to us. I think that is, I love that the Bohemian has grown in the way that it has, because it gave me a platform to do that and to spread what I think is important in the world.
Did you know that you would feel that purpose, that you would have that as your purpose when you first started the Bohemian?
No, I knew. I've always cared about people in such a different way. I feel like I can really feel people's emotions and energy, but I never knew that it would be to the extent that it is, and how I can really truly help people by having that. I go into their homes countless times and I create a space where they can feel safe in their home, where they can feel happy, where they can feel relaxed. Like, it's your sanctuary from the world. And I feel blessed that I'm able to do that in design and in the store. When you walk in, you're immediately greeted and welcomed. And I think that that's something that can really change people's lives. You never know. You could be walking down the street and you say hi to somebody, and all of a sudden, their day is completely changed. You don't know what you just did for that one individual that can change not just today, but tomorrow and the next day.
Yeah, absolutely. Was there a time in your life where someone did that for you that someone brightened your day in the same kind of way?
I think that there have been times where it's happened and it felt so foreign to me, like this person was nice to me. And I didn't like that I had to have that feeling, like that it was so odd that somebody was nice to me. Just a simple hello or you look beautiful today. And I think that in recognizing that, it changed a lot.
Interesting. So growing up, did you feel invisible?
I did feel invisible. I have 3 older sisters, as you know, who are all extremely talented and beautiful and literally the greatest humans on earth. I have the greatest examples of good humans, of what to be, what to strive to be like. And so I don't think that I felt invisible, but I think that in being surrounded by so many amazing people, it could have been a little bit intimidating, and that I would compare myself to them.
Do they know that, or would they be surprised to hear that?
Oh, no, they know how much I love them and look up to them.
Not that you were intimidated or felt like maybe not as capable, although you're just as capable.
I don't know if they know that, and I don't know if I've ever really acknowledged that until now. But I just think that they're amazing people.
Yeah, absolutely. I love your family. I adore your family. It's so beautiful to see your family and your whole family. Like when you're talking about trauma, I'm thinking, okay, so what are you talking about there? Are you talking about in childhood? Are you talking about more recent? Because you have a very eclectic, not eclectic, that's not the right word, dynamic family unit. Yeah, it's something to be so proud of, and for people to know how blended your all aspects of your family after divorce, after a lot of different things, that your whole family, ex-husbands, ex-wives, everybody can come together and to be in unity in such a beautiful way. I really admire it.
Yeah, it is amazing. It's funny trying to describe our family because we just love each other, and it is really unconventional. I mean, but it works for us. And I think it works because we just want to spread love. And so it makes it easier too with all of us to be able to get together at special times of the year. I do think that some of it, so for me, I had a different upbringing than some of them because my parents got divorced at a certain age, and then I had to switch schools. I was 16 when it happened. And so they're all a little bit older than me. So they were out of the house by the time that all of that had happened. And I do think that that formed a lot of things in my life that were a bit difficult to get over. But it also set me up, I feel like, to where I am now. And so I'm appreciative of all of the things that I've had to go through.
Like what lesson that you learned? You don't have to get into the experience, but what was the takeaway lesson from those experiences?
It made me grow a lot as an individual and human. I had to switch schools. So when you're 16 and you're a girl and you're having to switch schools, it forces you out of your comfort zone in so many ways. And I think that was just really hard. Switching schools and having to go through all of that, everything that you once knew was taken away from you. Like, I didn't have that choice. That wasn't my choice. And then trying to also explain that to your friends and having them understand was just not really a thing. So I think it just forced me out of my comfort zone in a lot of ways. And it forced me to grow up a lot quicker. And I think that's also a good thing.
As far as when you talk about how important it is, and I see this so clearly with your family, but how important it is to spread and share love with the world. Your family is so loving. Was there ever a time where that was missing, or that you didn't feel like you were your family or you were living that way?
I think every family has its own issues and traumas. And I think one of the things that we all are really good at acknowledging is that we're all just trying our best and we're all healing from something. none of us are perfect, and we've all been through things, and we're all trying to figure out how to make it add up in our head and fix it. And so I've always felt the love in our family. It's always been that way. It took a little bit of time for people to heal on certain things, but long term and end goal, I mean, we all just love each other and support one another.
It's so beautiful. It literally is something that I think a lot of people have no idea could exist in family dynamics.
Yeah, a lot of people think we're crazy, for lack of a better word, but it works. And, you know, when you spread love rather than hate, so much comes of it.
Now, as far as the Bohemian and the future plans and what you've created already, do you have a bigger vision, or do you feel, oh my gosh, this is like the life? It's exactly where I want it to be.
I am so happy where I'm at right now. We expanded and we opened a store up north because I thought that that's what I wanted. I was like, bigger is better, and I'm going to work so hard and do all of these things. And it was great and it was beautiful, but it made me realize bigger isn't always better. Like, I don't need that. I don't need more stresses. The whole reason why we opened this is so that I could spend more time with my family. And I think I kind of lost sight in that, and it took away from that. And the moment that I realized that, I was like, I can't do this. I need to just scale back down and just have the store and have Feathers, and that's enough.
Now, that's huge. I think that is such a huge awareness to realize what is most important. And some of it, balance is kind of an elusive thing you think you can find, but always you can have it in certain ways, but I feel like it's always kind of a balancing act. But thinking that you need something in your life and then going and finding, oh, that's not actually where I'm going to feel more fulfilled, that's a huge awareness. So was there something that happened that opened your eyes to that, or was it just didn't feel right to have so much going on all the time?
I think it just was that it didn't feel right. I started having more anxiety over things that I shouldn't have anxiety over. And there was just always this like pit in my stomach. And that I just, you know, when you listen to your gut instincts, you just know that you need to follow it. And so it was hard. It was so hard. I cried so much because we put everything into it, literally everything. And to admit that my husband would not say this, but like, I feel like I failed on it, and that's okay. And so I did what was right for me and my family, even though it felt terrible to let it go.
Mm-hmm. I can totally understand that. I think that's so important for women to hear, that there's a difference between this feels hard, but I need to push through, and this feeling hard, and I'm feeling a whisper of this is not the right, like you're hitting resistance. Maybe speak to the difference, because you had hard when you started.
I think when we started the Bohemian, like there was so much grind, and I mean, every day when you own your own business, as you know, it's like, it's hard. It's not easy, and it's not for the faint of heart. So I already knew what the grind felt like because we got from here to here, but there was just something off. I didn't feel that spark anymore that I wanted. And if I didn't feel that spark anymore, I'm not doing my customers what my purpose is. Know what I mean? And so for me, I think that was honestly the biggest difference is I already know how to work hard and how to do that. Working hard and not having the right feeling is completely different.
Mm-hmm. Was that a hard conversation to have with your husband, or was he on board right out of the gate? Like, this isn't feeling right for him either.
I think it was a really hard conversation. I feel like when you are scaling down, there's just this seed that you feel like you failed, when the reality is you didn't fail, but you are doing something that is right and can raise something else up. So rather than putting my energy into this, I'm shifting and I'm putting it into this, which has made things so much more fruitful in other areas of our life.
How long did it take you to see that, to really own, I guess not own, but really feel that peace and that was the right decision? Was it right away or was it weeks or months?
I think that there was a time leading up to it that was just like, we kept trying and trying so hard to make it work and kind of forcing it in a way. But again, listening to things coming up and our lease was ending. And that felt like, for me, a sign, because I'd been praying on it. And I'm like, I need an answer. I don't want to make this decision. This is terrible. Just do it for me.
So I'd been praying, God, we want that to happen. We want everything to happen for us.
Exactly. And it was like, that's not how it works. You have to make a decision and you have to stick with it and follow through. And so we made that decision, and when our lease ended, rather than renewing, we decided to just let it go and let it be. And I think what was so hard for me personally was having to tell the artists that were up there. It was nice because we could transition them to the Valley location, but I hold so much for those who are in our store. I feel responsible for so many areas of their life. Like, it's a heavy thing to carry. Like, their success is on me.
Right.
And it's a shared thing. It's not like it's their business and their business is within our business, but I want them to excel and I want them to succeed. And so that was really difficult, having to end that chapter for a few people. And we gave them the option to come to the Valley or other outlets to help. But that was really hard, honestly.
I can imagine, because you have so much, I don't want to say responsibility for their success, but you're giving them the vehicle to create success. So even though you're not truly responsible, you're pulling for them, and you want them to have the success that you've had and to be able to create the options that you've created. And so feeling like you still have them, but they don't, I could totally understand. So did some of them move to the Valley, or did they all?
Most everybody moved to the Valley location, but there were a few that weren't able to, but they found a different avenue and are doing great, and I'm still in contact with them. And so that made me feel good, knowing that this wasn't like their ending point, but maybe a new beginning point for them.
Do you feel that you were not in that store location, the Northside store location, as much? And I don't know if this is true or not. Maybe you were just as much as the Bohemian. But every business is really connected to the relationships you have with your customers, with your clients, with your store, the people that are in your store. The relationships are everything. And so when you spread yourself to two locations like that, do you feel that you weren't able to build those relationships with the community up north like you were in the Valley?
I would say yes. Like, we already had a lot of pull from the north side who would come to the Valley to see us. But I think what is one of the things with the Bohemian is I have those connections and relationships. And so when I'm not in a store, I'll get a text from a customer and they're like, hey, you weren't in today. I'm so sad I missed you. And I'm like, oh, I know. I just miss you. I'm up north, and I do think that makes a huge difference and it affects things. And so it was really hard being pulled in two locations at once. And yeah, I think that does affect a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. And speak to I don't want to say the value, but the value of peace over income or profits.
Oh my gosh. This was a hard lesson. People always think that there's different perceptions of what successful is, right? And I value that. I think that's great. For me, my time with my family is the most valuable thing in the world. Like, we're on this earth to love one another and find our happiness. Money doesn't matter to me It's that I love what I'm doing. I love waking up every single day and going to work. I cannot wait to go to work. And I know there's people that can't say that. And I feel so blessed to be able to say that. For me, having the peace in my heart and in my mind, knowing that I am doing my very best for my family, priceless.
What would you say to the woman listening that is going to a job that she cannot stand or is in some line of work that isn't fulfilling? What would you say to her to have the courage to do what you've done? Not maybe the exact same thing, but something that is
anything. Honestly, like our business has so many businesses in it, and I've been able to help so many of them in different ways do it. It is so scary. There's this book, and I always think about this book, and I live by it, honestly. People always tease me because they're like, you just throw yourself into so many things. How are you doing it? And I'm like, because everything's figure outable. I'll figure it out. I'll say yes, and then I'll figure it out. And that's kind of my motto of things. I used to be a no person and always say no, and I missed out on so much. And you never know what is coming your way. So for the mom or the woman, anybody who is in a position that sure, you may be making good money, but your heart's not there, quit it. Like, life is not worth it. Take that step. Everything's figure outable. You'll figure it out along the way. Just make that step and do it and commit yourself and don't look back.
I love that so much. Were there things along the way, like when you say you took that first step and you started doing signs and you're just starting to grow, were there resources or books or podcasts that you listened to that helped you to go from being just the little unit to what it is?
I like to read a lot of, this is probably not the right verbiage, but self-help books.
Yeah.
Say like Atomic Habits, and the one that everything is figure outable, one of my favorite books, because literally everything is figure outable. And I also, as you know, have an amazing support system of a family. I'm very blessed to have that. So I think just having that and keep chugging forward. I mean, there were so many setbacks throughout the Bohemian, but we just kept moving forward.
Yeah, and those setbacks, like we were talking about having the second location and feeling the resistance, maybe how would you define the difference between resistance and just a setback?
There's a big difference. There's a couple of like things that have happened in our business that were big things that kind of changed the trajectory and viewpoint of our business. One was COVID. That's an obvious thing. We did our final expansion in the Valley right when it happened, and then we had to shut down. So I took on another handful financially, and then I was told to close all of our doors. I have employees. I have a store. I have not only employees, but artists that, you know, we need to be open in order to sell anything. So that was really hard, combating that and figuring that out. And then we also, and I'll just touch on this lightly because it's a really sensitive subject for me, but we had lost our son Raz now it's been a while ago, but that was something for me that changed a lot in our business.
What did it change?
I think that, so he would be 6 this year. That for me was like the final kicker of finding my purpose, because it was a lot of trauma in like one short period. And when you're in the store and you're pregnant and then you come back and you're not, and people are asking you like, how's your baby? How's everything going? You have to relive that moment over and over. And it taught me so much, one, of how to treat people and how to talk to people in a different way, but also knowing that behind every smile, there's something behind it that isn't always happy. And so that for me nailed it of this needs to be everybody's happy place. This needs to be where people can go when they're having troubles and sorrows and they can just have a brief moment and feel good. That for me is like the most important thing.
Do you find that you have people coming into the store and you're seeing maybe something in them that then you're able to have that conversation and they share with you? Do you find you have more connection because of your own experience of being on the other side of that?
100%. There are so many beautiful relationships that have come out of the Bohemian that I am like beyond blessed and thankful to have. And I don't know what it is, but I can just read people really well and feel people. And so if you're coming through our door, I feel like I already know what's going on, whether you're smiling at me or not. I know what's behind your smile. And it has led to some of the most beautiful relationships. We have people who have come in and just came in and they'll tell you sometimes, like, I'm just having a hard day, or I'll greet them at first and they'll say hi, but you can read that they're kind of like, they don't want to talk much. So I give them their space, but then I'll go back to talk to them. And then that's when they open up about it. And I'm like, hey, I know you came in here for a reason and I'm here for you. Like, let's talk. You're not alone. Like, I'm here for you. Whatever makes you feel better, let's get through it together. You don't have to go through things alone, and you don't have to feel like, yeah, that's the biggest thing, I guess. Just you don't have to feel like you're alone because you're not.
Yeah. Did you feel like you were alone in some of the, I can't, my heart like just breaks. Were there moments in that experience that you did feel alone? And I can imagine that it was probably in the moments that you acted like everything was fine just because you didn't want to talk about it.
It can feel like a very lonely and isolating path. My mom actually lost twins, and so she had already gone through this and was a really big support system for me. And it is very lonely. Like, and until you're vulnerable and you open up about it and you talk about it, you don't know how many other people there are out there that have gone through it or are experiencing it. And when you let yourself go and talk about it, so many people come out of it. And you can talk about those moments that are just like so stinging and hard and know like, okay, this person got through that. I can get through that. Like, there is light at the end of the tunnel, no matter what it is. Even if it's just day to day, you're trying to make it through, you can make it through, and you can help other people through your trauma as well. And so I think it's really good to be vulnerable about that.
It's interesting that a lot of people, we've all been through different things, and it's in sharing your story that you, get to heal somebody else or be the light. But I think more importantly, do you feel that you have, not that you probably will ever be fully healed from an experience like that, but in being there for people in similar or hard moments, maybe there's nothing that's truly similar. Do you feel that that has been healing for you?
Yeah, I do. We actually have a gal who's in the store, and she is a parent of child loss as well, and she sells baby blankets. And those baby blankets are any proceeds that come back, she uses to create blankets to give to mothers of loss in the hospital. And so it's allowed me to find so many relationships, and her and I, like, we'll text each other. Hey, I'm just having like a really hard day and I can't get it off of my brain. Like, what do you do? Do you want to go and do something? Like, let's just like experience it, because you should never eliminate the feeling of grief. Like, that's part of it. You got to go through it, but knowing that you have somebody to go through it with is the difference. That's opened up a lot for us, and meeting a lot of moms who have experienced it.
That just makes you feel not alone more than.
Yeah. And there's so many similarities. Like, we joke about it like we're in this girl group that nobody ever wants to be in, but we have each other. And, until you don't know until you know. That's what we always say. You don't know until you know. So nobody understands those emotions or those feelings until you've gone through it. It's just like walking in somebody's shoes. Opening that up and finding people who have gone through it, it helps a lot.
That's amazing. And would you have ever been able to have that type of relationship with community and build these relationships in prior jobs?
No. I think I was really ignorant to just what everybody goes through. Knowing that there is more behind every person and really, truly digging deep to know people and their story. I think that's like the most beautiful thing, is seeing somebody's trauma and their life, or even just like their happiness and how they got to where they are. I think seeing people for more than just what we're looking at is one of the most beautiful things that it's given me. It gave me an opportunity to see people in a different light.
Because we're all trying to figure this thing called life out and trying to heal through things we've experienced that we don't understand why or how they happened. But on the surface, trying to pretend like everything is fine and it's all lovely and we're just happy, right?
Right. I think it's hard to be, everybody wants to see just the happy parts, and that's fine, but that's not life. Like, we're all battling our own things, and recognition of that and being able to push through them is so important.
Absolutely. What has been the best advice that you've ever received? I typically ask this question more around business, but obviously this is a lot deeper than just business. But what has been the best advice that you've ever received in your life?
My husband, and it's something so simple, but it's so true, because like, we live for the day. And so he always just says, just keep going. Just keep going. Just like keep pushing through it. We'll get there. And it's so true, because there's days that are really hard and there's days that are really great. And it's just in life and in business to just keep going. And so I think that's something that I really appreciate and kind of live by.
I can't even imagine how that experience of losing your son was for your relationship with your husband. Was he the rock?
Oh my gosh. I love him so much. And like, we've been through so much together, and he is incredible. Like, he is my rock through anything and everything. He is my steady guy. He always keeps me level. He is my number one supporter. Like, Riley puts his family first every single day. He doesn't necessarily love decorating a house, but he knows that I love it, and so he does it. But he is our rock, and he is just one real solid guy. I am so blessed to have him, and through that experience, it was very difficult, but rather than going apart, it just made us stronger together and more understanding. I think he felt the exact same way in how it changed us and our beliefs. And I think honestly that too, I am so sad that this is how and why, but like, we found our faith through it. And I'm so thankful for that. You hear that a lot though, through trauma, you can find your faith or you lose it. And we found it. And I'm so thankful that I have God in my life now and that we are where we are.
Yeah. Did you feel that you thought you had a relationship with God and just didn't, or didn't at all?
I did, but I've always believed in something, and I've always believed in God, but I never really practiced it or felt comfortable talking about it. Honestly, like, it was just one of those things, politics and religion, you don't talk about. And I've kind of, in this last year, even like, my whole family just got baptized a couple weekends ago. This year, I'm like, I'm not going to be shy or scared about it. Like, this is who I am and this is what I believe. And if you like it, great. And if you don't, I'm so sorry. Like, I still love you as a person and I hope you can love me for my beliefs as well. But like, this is my platform to share that and help change people's lives.
What message did you get from God through that experience that you now feel that other people need to know what this faith actually means and looks like?
It all kind of goes into this big snowball that we build of like, you belong and you are loved and you are not alone. I feel like a lot of people are constantly searching for something and they can't seem to find it. And my husband and I had this conversation. There's a couple of close friends that we have, and they're talking about how they're always trying to find these things and they're searching and we're watching their life and they're like jumping from one thing to the next thing. And you can just see it that they're searching and searching and they just don't feel fulfilled. And we're like, the thing that you're searching for is God. And having them realize that is one thing. And we're going to support them through absolutely everything. But I think having that in your heart, knowing that everything's going to be okay, is a good feeling. And I want everybody to feel that, to feel like they're loved and seen. And for me, it doesn't matter what your beliefs are or what you think. I am the most accepting human. I love everybody for what and who they are. I don't care. I'm going to love you through everything. Doesn't matter. But you know who else is? God. So I just think that that's something that I feel free to talk about now.
That's so amazing. Oh, that's got to feel so good. So last question, what is one thing that you wish people knew about you better?
I'm a little bit quiet behind our business. Like, if you look on any of our social medias, I'm on there every now and then, and I'm not really in the store a lot anymore. I think I want people to know my heart and that like I'm still there and like we're chugging and doing all of these things to have that for our customers. And that I'm just human. Like, we're all human. We're not perfect. We're just doing the best that we can. And I think that's what I would want to tell people if they haven't seen me in a while.
You feel like there's a part of you that misses some of the community?
Yeah, I miss them so much. Like, anytime I'm in the store, guaranteed I'm going to see at least 5 regulars come in, and those hugs and embraces that we have when I haven't seen them for a while are literally the best. I miss them so much, but I also am at a point where I'm trying to build this other business. And so I need to be here, even though I want to be here too. So it is kind of like a splitting again, but I have a beautiful community in the Feathers as well. So it's hard.
It's different. I would imagine with Feathers that you have more time one-on-one with your clients, but less reach. The lower number of people that you get to interact with on a regular basis.
Correct.
And so it's this balance, and this is what I was talking about earlier. And in my life, understanding that there's seasons in life where you choose your family. There's seasons in life where you do get to make a greater impact on more people around you. There's a sense of fulfillment in the number of lives that you get to impact. It's not that people are numbers, but you just feel that you're making a bigger impact when you know you're in community with more people. But family always trumps business.
Right. And I think that we will get back to that place once Feathers is a little bit more settled, where I can be back in the store more and with them more. And it's awesome.
Well, where can people find the Bohemian? Everyone listening needs to go shop at the Bohemian.
It is in Spokane Valley. It's 12019 East Sprague Avenue. And it's just, you take the Sprague exit and
now if someone needs their home staged and they want to have your design is gorgeous. I need you and Alicia both need to come to my house someday. But if someone wants their home staged or designed, how would they reach out to you or how would they contact you?
You can contact us through the Bohemian or Feathers website. We do have a phone number for it. I haven't memorized it yet, but or you can contact us via phone.
Oh, thank you for sharing your heart and your mission and your store and your vision. It's my favorite store to go to. So I'm so grateful that you took a chance on yourself and built something beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, have a great day.
You do.
What if the most beautiful parts of your purpose are born in the places you once felt broken? Dani's story is a powerful reminder that every setback, every quiet whisper from her soul, and every leap of faith can shape not just a life that's successful, but one that is sacred. So I'll leave you with this. What would you create if you believed that peace was just as valuable as profit?